2025 City of Oshkosh Plan Commission meeting. We are glad you can join us. I do see that we have a quorum. I have a few housekeeping items to go over before we begin. Please turn off or silence all personal communication devices. The applicant and members of the public may address any item before the Plan Commission once the relevant item is called and public comment is open. Before speaking, you are required to write your name and address on a speaker registration form located at the podium. Unless an exception is made by the Plan Commission, the following rules will apply. The applicant will be given up to 10 minutes to present any information they wish for us to consider. Thereafter, members of the public will be given up to 5 minutes to address the specific item before the Plan Commission. Members of the public may speak only once per called agenda item unless the Plan Commission requests any questions or asks for clarification. Questions or statements from the audience will not be tolerated, only statements from the podium after you've written your name and address within the allowed constraints are taken into consideration. After all community members have had an opportunity to speak on the called agenda item, the applicant will be asked if they have a final statement for the Plan Commission, and then the Plan Commission may take action on that item. The Common Council has adopted rules of decorum for city boards and commissions, including the adoption of a civility pledge. No person shall personally attack a board or commission member, city official or staff, or any other person. No person shall make irrelevant, unduly repetitive, offensive, threatening, slanderous, defamatory, or obscene remarks, or act in such a manner as to disrupt or disturb the orderly conduct of the meeting. This would include hand clapping, stomping of feet, whistling, shouting, or other demonstrations. I do thank you all for your understanding. Now on to the agenda. Roll call, please.
Mr. Pollack. Councilmember Bulow.
Here.
Mr. Rucker.
Here.
Ms. Tavy.
Here.
Mr. Lowenstein. Mr. Bowen.
Here.
Ms. Shireman.
Here.
Ms. Prop.
Here.
Vice Chair Kiefer.
Here.
Chairman Perry.
Here.
8 board members present.
Thank you. Consent agenda. Item B is the consent agenda. Approve the minutes from the September 16, 2025 Plan Commission meeting. Is there any member of the public that would like to make a statement about anything on the consent agenda? Any members of the public wish to make a statement about anything on the consent agenda? Is there any member of the Plan Commission that wishes to pull this item off of consent? Okay, I'm seeing none. The Plan Commission, the action is upon you.
I move to approve.
Consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? We will have a roll call vote.
Councilmember Bulow.
Aye.
Mr. Rucker.
Aye.
Ms. Davy.
Aye.
Mr. Bowen.
Aye.
Ms. Shireman.
Aye.
Ms. Prop.
Here. Aye. Here.
Vice Chair Kiefer.
Aye.
Chairman Perry.
Aye.
Motion carried 8-0.
All right, wonderful. On to the regular agenda now. Item D, review and make a recommendation on the Quarry Park Master Plan. I assume there hasn't been any site inspections. So I will accept the staff report as part of the record. Please present the summary.
Good afternoon, Plan Commission. Ray Mauer, Parks Director, and with me I have John Kinnear, President of Rutler Corporation. Rutler was hired by the city to assist us with generating the Quarry Park Master Plan. We work very closely with the Neighborhood Association. We have a couple of members here in the public that may make some comment as well. I'll be here for questions, but I'm going to turn it over to John for his presentation.
All right, thank you, Ray, for the introduction. My name is John Kinnear, landscape architect and president with Rutler Corporation. We were brought in to assist the city with planning of Quarry Park, looking at a master plan. So that master plan really is our guide to the long-term development of the park, sets priorities to the improvements, ensures cohesiveness and effective use of the resources of the site. Incorporate community input, which Ray mentioned. We did do that. We had a couple sessions with the neighborhood. Assist in identifying any funding sources and then looks at the site in detail, planning of the elements, conceptual in nature at first, and then deriving a full master plan for the future guidance of that park. So, so that is intended to be a conceptual guide to the development for budgeting for your future improvements at that park. So Quarry Park here shown just off 17th, Florida. This is the extent of the park. Unique site in that there is a closed landfill incorporated within the bounds of the park. That's that dashed red area that you can see there. The yellow is indicating the boundary of the park site itself. One difference on that aerial photo is that the parking and building that were at Quarry Park have since been removed, so that is now green space, primarily trees, primarily, and then the underlying condition of the landfill site. We did look at wetland indicators as part of our site analysis. There are some soils to the east of indicator soils, not anything of any concern in terms of on-site wetlands. So any permitting, we would have to look at getting that area cleared by an assured delineator. Just food for thought for the future development. Our site analysis identified a high point, that red cross to the southwest. And then our general drainage pattern to those blue circle areas, those are our two low points in the northeast and kind of east central corners of the site. Our drainage pattern generally flowing from southwest to northeast for the site. So keeping that in mind as we look at development opportunities at the park. This is the closed landfill document that we did talk with AECom about in terms of what's there, what our possibilities are. Very fruitful discussion so that we had some guidance before we did go talk to the neighborhood about what could happen here. So very low impact, no foundations, no footings, even the planting types, trees and deep penetrating roots. So in some of our concepts, we're showing naturalized areas. We'll have to get a shallow root system, natural planting area to work, fence posts, things like that, that would penetrate through the cap of that fill area. We had to be very cognizant of that in our design. Also, some of those black dots that you see there, those are monitoring wells and vent pipe systems. Some need to be maintained, some will be abandoned with any future development. That will be closely coordinated with AECom and then need to be permitted as a post-closure modification with the DNR for any future work there. So just some background information on the potential for redevelopment at the park and what can happen there. So again, our landfill boundaries, just to remind you, the red, and then there's that circular area to the west that's also included in the landfill site, but not Quarry Park. So Quarry Park, again, is bound by the yellow dashed line to the east. Historically, this is some historic image just to give you some context. You can see, that goes away when you point at the TV. There's the blow up of the red circle there, the blow up showing, you can see the round area that's full of water. That's that round red area here to the west. And then you can see the active quarrying occurring where Quarry Park is to the east, that white kind of scarred looking area in the image. And then another quarry area on the large map to the west was also a quarry area as well. This is the 1937 condition. 1992, you can see the site was filled and utilized for active use. You can see that there were two softball infields. Those lighter colored areas are softball infields hitting to the southeast and the northwest. By 2009, you can see only one infield remains. There's a lot of undulation, settling of the site over time that allowed for removal of those active uses as not a suitable use on that site. So between the 92 image and the 2009 image, you can see how that's began to change And then in 2010, and back in 2009 as well, 1992, you can see the addition of the building and parking. You can see in 2010, the second ball field was removed, just the building and parking were on site. In 2023, the latest photo not showing that the building and parking have been removed just yet, but that the site is in open green space condition. So that gave us some parameters for that, and primarily the discussion with AECom and DNR. What can go on here? What opportunities do we have to create a neighborhood connection, a neighborhood green space, something that's usable and encouraging for people to get into the site and use that. So concept one, we looked at that with the neighbors. We had more of a loop trail system, some additional plantings outside of the landfill area, again, that red boundary. Some open green space. We're not calling for a formal athletic field, but providing space where kids could go out with a soccer ball and play some pickup sports, some flag football or some soccer. The kind of yellow-green areas are proposed naturalized areas of prairie plantings, again, shallow root system prairie plantings, but naturalized, so that we don't just have a field of grass to mow and maintain, attracting some pollinator species, some birds, creating some habitat for people to enjoy some nature. Stone trails going from the corners of the site into the loop path, and then providing neighborhood connections from the southeast, the east, and then the south and northwest as well. So providing park indication and some park identity. We're proposing some quarried stone outcroppings, just placed, not on any deep footings or anything like that. Some stone seating areas instead of just standard park benches, to really hearken to the past of the quarry aspect of this site, and also provide some built-up planting opportunities as well. So on the corners, we'd be looking at having some limestone outcroppings with some large quarry stone at the corners for some accent pieces. That was the idea, and then some park signage, or standard park signage, at the entryway as well. So that was concept one. Concept two, we had more internal circulation through the park, really corner connections and connecting to the sidewalks more often. In talking with the neighborhood, we felt that was a little too many connections, that some of those didn't really make a lot of sense, and it bisected the park a little bit too much, but they liked the connectivity through the park and having those corner connections connecting into the sidewalk, actually creating more of an interior loop. In the center there, we started to develop some stone seating area and a central gathering space for neighbors to meet, for small groups to meet, get together for a picnic, and that led to an idea of a great area for a sound garden, so utilizing some surface-mounted outdoor play musical instruments. We developed the preferred concept plan, which provided a larger gravel space in that central area, provided more perimeter seating around that central area, simplified the number of connections out to the sidewalk, and provided more direct access to the neighborhoods into the site. Kept a open green space for play north of the gathering circle, and provided nice options for connection to the neighborhood. This was ultimately what the neighbors found most desirable, to have that space in the center, to have some activity there, active play space, not necessarily, but to create that multi-generational gathering aspect and creating that musical garden space as well. Several neighbors did weigh in on that very positively for a feature in this park. Again, additional plantings. We did add even more trees to provide more shade in the areas where we can, to create more of a buffer. There you can see the addition on the north and east sides. Again, the simplification of the trails and pathway systems and a more robust central gathering area with the stone seating. And then we did provide some example photos on the left of the page of what that musical play equipment looks like, what some of that stone seating could look like, and a sketch of how those stone accent corners would look at the park corners to introduce the park as people are driving by, walking by, biking by, to give identity to the park. Cost estimates, we did take that preferred concept plan and develop cost estimates very simply broken down here to work and utilities, our seating area and trails, the play equipment itself, other amenities, construction item, total of about $425,000. Carrying a contingency and permitting and project soft costs through to about $520,000 total project cost, permitted, designed. The one thing we do need to get more of a handle on and fee for would be getting the DNR post-closure modification permitting and approval process. So I've done that on past projects, $20,000, $50,000, somewhere in that range. We'd want to nail that down a little bit more. That would be a specialty engineer, depending on the level of development that we have going into this project. So should it be approved, we could be able to provide that as well. But in general, a project construction cost of about $425,000 total project cost with permitting, design, geotechnical survey, things like that, $520,000 for the cost of what you're looking at there on the plan. Our progress to date, this is just a summary of the progress to get to this point. April 30th, we started our first listening session. We had our discussions of 2024, sorry. March of 25, we started our discussions with DNR and follow-up meetings. We then took that information in May for our first neighborhood input meeting. Came back with some concepts and preferred plans to visit with the neighbors again. Did present to Advisory Park Board, did a presentation, and we're here before you tonight, before the Plan Commission presenting, and then the next steps would be adoption and approval of the plan. So with that, we can open it back up to the Plan Commission and take any questions you have.
Okay, thank you very much. Plan Commission, do you wish to ask any follow-up questions, or do we move on to the public comment? Ms. Propp.
Any chance for a restroom?
So buildings here have proven to not do well. The building had to be removed because of the subsoils here. What we have is a quarried area that was then filled, some with landfill, some with just fill. That ground bedrock all around there still is there. So it's basically somewhat of a bathtub, which proves very difficult even to maintain a ball field infield.
Okay.
So yeah, the short answer
Answer is
is
no.
not really. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any other technical questions at this time?
I have one.
Ms. Sherman?
The musical equipment, I find fascinating. One question for you, Ray. Do we have that anywhere else in the city, the musical equipment? But then
We had a few pieces of the musical equipment at Tech Miller Park a number of years ago.
okay.
This was very specific by the neighborhood, because I did share with them.
How did that come to be?
Yeah, and they can maybe speak to that as well, but the neighborhood spoke pretty loudly. They'd like something to draw people there. They went and actually, I think, looked at some different pieces of equipment, so what John showed in his photo was just conceptual, of course. I did share there might be, depending on the equipment, there might be some noises that the neighbors may or may not appreciate. One of the neighbors who's right adjacent said, I live there and I think it's gonna be great. So there was a lot of input by the neighbors to have that in.
And of course, then the materials that because they're open to the elements, they're going to be fine for that too.
Yeah,
That was another thing.
they're constructed for this, basically play equipment, but
It's
music
fascinating.
instruments.
We don't have it anywhere else. It's certainly a draw. I think it's great. I was curious where it came from. So
Yep.
thank you.
Carl Traeger Elementary has a musical.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, some of the schools do. Reed Elementary does too.
Okay.
And some of the parks have it integrated into the playground equipment.
Menominee Park has it.
Yeah, Menominee Park has them.
Haven't been to the playground.
Are there any other technical questions at this time? Okay, I'm seeing none, so this is going to be a public comment. The applicant has made a statement, so are there any members of the public that wish to speak on this agenda item? Any members of the public? If you approach the podium and you could write your name and address on the document at the podium, we'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. My name is Lori Buskirk. I am in the Corey Park Neighborhood Association. We are thrilled to be moving forward with this and would love to see some progress made. We've talked many times, we've had different events that we have poster boards of all these drawings and gotten everybody's input. We've taken votes and we've all accepted this. We like the musical instruments. Love to see some green space and just some more trees, just some beautification. This year, if any of you noticed the marigolds on Knapp, we did that. And just the positive comments we've gotten and neighbors coming out that we've never met before. And it's just been a very positive outlook in our neighborhood. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other member of the public that wishes to speak on this agenda item? If you approach the podium and write your name and address down for our records, please.
I'm Connie Drexler. I'm also on the Corey Park Neighborhood Association core team. We've been meeting with Rettler and with Ray on this now for a year and a half, and I have to say Rettler's been fabulous to work with, explaining why we could and could not do certain things so that we understood it and did not, make us feel like we were asking for the impossible. But this plan that we've come up with, I think now, is really exciting. People that we talked to at our annual meeting a couple of weeks ago saw this plan, for some of them for the first time, and they were just excited about this and really looking forward to having that park be something that is more than just an empty field. So I hope that this continues to move forward, and that a year from now we'll start to see that we have trees and we start to have some grounds that look like they're inviting for a change. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to speak on this agenda item? You can state or post your name and address for our records when you get to the podium, please.
Good afternoon. My name's Ken Larry, and my property is at 1722 Knapp Street, just one house in from the corner of 17th and Knapp. Little history to get started. One of the quarries shown on one of the previous slides was actually on the property of my wife, who lived there, grew up there, and we've retained the property. She lost two brothers in those quarries to drowning, because back in the day, there were no fences, there was nothing there to protect these kids. It was a natural draw, they went in. As a child myself, I saw them fill in the Corey Park with the large equipment, and as a 10-year-old kid or whatever I was at the time, it was fascinating to watch the earth movers close that up. We've had almost 50 years of watching this park change from those dates. The venting, et cetera, et cetera. I apologize, until we got the letter in the mail the other day, I had no idea any of this was going on. So as much as we all try and communicate, it's amazing how this showed up at our house one day and we're like, what? Where did this start? So obviously we're a little late to the game for our comments. Just two things. Like the idea of the park improving it, and the marigolds along the roadway were beautiful. The part that I think may be too late, but the music park, where someone mentioned some people like it, some don't, I guess would be the only thing. It's been quiet out there. We enjoy that quietness. This used to be the edge of town. Obviously, things change. If anything was there except the music apparatus, we give it a thumbs up too. The other thing I just want to bring up, and the architect has probably already addressed that, is the constant indulation of the ground. There's holes that would swallow me in on a 6 foot tall. And so when I saw the heavy slabs of granite being placed in a semicircle like an amphitheater, I just know in time they're going to sink and tip and pitch, probably. As far as the pathways, that may not have an effect at all. But that ground over 50 years continues to move and sink and change. We saw the ballparks go in, and then we saw the parking lot that had to be removed because it was like a lunar landscape. So those are concerns that I'm just bringing forward because we've seen it over the last half century of time and change. Just something to be aware of so that now, 10, 15 years from now, we don't have to go in and do more filling and grading and balancing to make the park the way you want it to look today. So those are just 2 thoughts I wanted to bring. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there any other member of the public that wishes to speak on this agenda item? Any other member of the public that wishes to speak? Okay, I'm seeing none, so I'm going to close the public comment period. Would the city like to make a closing statement?
I think just to address the gentleman's concern with the potential music equipment, that is why it's moved to the center of the park to try to move it further away from the residents. We did share with the neighbors that these pieces of music equipment will be surface mounted. So if we get a number of complaints and issues that might come up, I don't expect it, just knowing the lower tones of the pieces of equipment that are being constructed and made, but being surface mounted would be something we'd have to take a look at possibly removing if we had that number of complaints.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you. All right, Plan Commission, the action is upon you. We were presented with 3 options to recommend further.
Point of order, I don't understand 3 options. Aren't we just approving the plan?
There
Yeah,
The
if I
master
can,
plan for
there were,
number 2.
yeah, those first 2, they were concept ideas that were shared with the neighborhood association, and they basically pulled some aspects of each of those to become this preferred concept plan. So this would be the preferred concept plan.
Okay, so we've been presented with a preferred concept plan, Plan Commission. The action is upon you.
Motion to adopt the findings, recommendations as stated in the staff report.
Second.
That's better.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion upon this motion? Ms. Prop?
I'm delighted that the neighbors participated so carefully, and thank you for doing that good job. The next step is, let's get this in the capital improvements program so that they can see some progress.
If you'd like, I can address that comment as well.
Hold
Oh,
on.
sorry.
We're in the middle of
Sure,
our
I'm
discussion
sorry.
here, okay? Ms. Shireman?
My question is about the parking. So the parking's on Florida and 17th. How do we determine there's sufficient parking for a park that size?
Would one of you two like to address that?
I don't believe it's required to be on site.
Right. That's my understanding as well.
I mean, not most, a lot of parks have parking lots and this is just, street side. I mean, I drove it. I mean,
Mhm.
it appears, but I mean, there's none on NAP, so it's just,
Right.
how do we know that there's sufficient parking there? There's no formula for number of parking spots. I mean, I know it's also walkable and, you have to take that into consideration, but we don't have any formula or anything for parking for parks.
Not a requirement for a neighborhood park.
Okay.
Ms. Davy?
First, I want to thank you for addressing the vegetation as you did.
I understand at this particular place why you need the short depth for the roots, but I also really appreciate the fact that you're going native with it, so that's good. That's very good. Keep that up. As far as the parking goes, it makes perfect sense to me that I would think that you're never going to have so many people in the park there without a ballpark or anything, that you're going to need more than what's just on the side streets. I also see this as a neighborhood park that's probably going to be mostly walkable for those that are nearby. So I guess it hadn't even occurred to me that there would be a need for parking there.
Mr. Kiefer.
I applaud the city and Rattler, the neighbors coming up with a very unique plan. I think we've heard comments about how our parks are cookie cutters, which I don't think they are. But this is obviously something, and I know obviously the uniqueness of the site necessitated some things that we don't normally see in other parks. But I think this is a good step forward in developing some other uses of our parks and taking advantage of what we have here. And are there things in the construction that will alleviate some of that sinking, or I know some of it probably just is unavoidable, but so that was kind of a question I had too, but otherwise I applaud the city for putting this together.
All right, Mr. Rucker.
Yes, thank you so much. A follow-up to Mr. Kiefer's brief comment in regards to the sinking. And I don't know if we really heard any answer or concern that this is not going to be an issue or it's going to need to be addressed in the future. Can we just get a follow-up in regards to that particular issue and how that is a potential issue, and in the future how it might be dealt with? Thank you.
Do one of you two want to do that, or we want to ask the applicant? Can you follow up on that question, please?
Yes, we selected materials that would be maintainable by staff, something that could be reset. The stones, and we're not looking at huge stones or huge slabs or anything like that, just something you can get two people on, 4 by 2 by 2-ish in size. Nothing too large, too heavy. That's always been a concern. The gravel pathways, that was also by design so that mainly park staff could continue to maintain this. If they do find that one of the stones is settling or in one of the seating areas, they could lift that stone, level it out, place it back without having it be tied to paved areas. And then the more decorative areas, a little bit of settlement's just going to have more of an aesthetic effect that we're going to be going for. So I think it's not of concern in the more aesthetic areas, the seating areas. That's all something we feel parks can maintain over time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Davy?
Can I ask one more question?
Certainly, one more question.
Mr. not Rattler, but whatever you
Kinnear,
do.
yep, thank you. Yep.
Can you address, is there the possibility of sinkholes here? Are people just going to disappear into this park?
Well, I can't answer that with 100% finality, but it's not anything that has happened in the past that hasn't happened here, so it's more just undulation that's happened over time and some severe areas of settlement rather than sinking, I think, is what's happened over time. But that's been over a large period of time. Usually with a landfill closure, that's expected, that settlement is going to occur after a period of years. A lot of that settlement stops or ceases to be as severe. So sinkholes, I don't anticipate that at all. Settlement, a little bit of undulation over time based on that saturated ground we were talking about. That's going to happen, but nothing of severe nature would be anticipated.
Thank you. I just wanted to clear that up.
Yep, thanks.
Is there any other discussion on the motion? Any other discussion on the motion? All right, I'm seeing none, so let's have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Bulow?
Aye.
Mr. Rucker?
Aye.
Ms. Davy?
Aye.
Mr. Bowen?
Aye.
Ms. Shireman?
Aye.
Ms. Pronk?
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer?
Aye.
Chairman Perry?
Aye.
Motion carried 8-0.
All right, under other business, item E is a 2026 Plan Commission meeting schedule and location. Planning Services Manager.
We shared the 2026 schedule, so I just wanted, we didn't get a lot of feedback, so I just want to make sure that everyone received that and see if anyone had questions to ask now or after the meeting will be around, and that we will be moving to council chambers starting in January for our planning commission meetings. And then a few notes about the last few meetings of the year. On the 11/4 meeting, there is a budget workshop in here at 5, so ideally, with all of our discussion done by 4:45, we're backed up on the schedule a little bit with budget season. We don't currently have any items for 11/18. We're still holding it before we send an official cancellation since it's the end of the year. But just the current update is we don't have any items on the 11/18 agenda. And then we do have quite a list started for the December 2nd, the last meeting of the year. So if you want to plan accordingly for that night with as much notice as possible, please let us know.
All right, thank you. Any questions about that? I do need to state that I will not be here on the 11/4 meeting, Mr. Kiefer. All right, last item on the agenda is adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, we can have a voice vote?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned.